Fear. We all have a fear of something and or are afraid of something, even though some of us don't want to admit it, or some of us actually don't have a fear, which is pretty weird. But to be realistic, they do have a fear, they just have not come across what they fear. You understand what I'm saying? There will be points in life where people do have fears, but they don't encounter them, so they can technically say that they don't have a fear at all, and they live a life without being afraid of anything. You know what I'm saying? But we all have one. Discovered or undiscovered. Example, I used to be afraid of heights. I'm no longer afraid of heights. Some people are so afraid of heights that technically they can't even ride a roller coaster or anything to do with heights, period. You can't climb a tree, you can't, ride a roller coaster, you can't go down a huge water slide. You know what I'm saying? Like that fear, okay? Now, I'm talking about like an essential fear that you always have. Like going to I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a place in the world in the US where like it's got this vertical when I say vertical, I mean like the side of a freaking like glass skyline building. Technically a vertical drop of basically like a water slide. And holy shit, that would be like ginormous. Technically, you would be able to close your eyes and do it to a degree, right? But you'd be afraid as well, because human instincts tell us there's two things that could happen. One, we could die, and two, we could die. Pretty simple, right? So, because of that human instinct telling us not to do it, and our body knows we're not supposed to be going directly vertical down, okay, then it doesn't want us to do it, right? Which then we become afraid of it. You understand what I'm saying? But conquering a fear is something as much as a small achievement in life, just like as getting your first job or something like that. Getting your first girlfriend and having a wife and having children. It's one of those many achievements. But in my opinion, it feels like being the greatest achievement because that fear that you jump over was always there in your life and you didn't know about it, or you knew about it and didn't like it. And people say, I don't want to fear. We should all not have fears, right? That's what some people say, right? And I've said it at least once in my life. I think everyone should not have a fear. We should all be like freaking Superman and just not have a fear or anything, right? Technically, Superman fears kryptonite, but we're gonna leave that out of the picture right there, okay? But technically, we don't want to be, afraid of something. Now, here's what I think of that. Being afraid of certain type of things makes a person unique, right? I would say I'm afraid of heights, whereas another person would be like, I'm afraid of swimming. Just bring that up. I'm afraid of swimming. And I'll be like, alright, cool. Now, does that mean we're the only unique people or the only people to actually have those fears? No. There are many people who are afraid of heights. There are many people who are afraid of swimming. There are many people who are afraid of a ton of other stuff that are just like you. But in a way, the way we react to it is unique in our own way. And that's the thing that makes us unique about that. I'll give you an instance. If there were no fears or people were not afraid of anything, there would be less careless people in the world, and more people would actually want to do the same stuff. For instance, like people who would normally have a fear of skydiving would go skydiving. People who normally would have a fear of climbing a tree would climb a tree. You know what I'm saying? And then, technically, we would all be the same. As to a degree where, like, we could do whatever we want. We don't have no limitations in life. Whereas, like, with the fear thing, there's a limitation, but you can still get over it. For the most part, you can still get over it. One of the fears that I don't understand is there's a fear that people have where, like, they're afraid of dying. And this one you can't get over. Because eventually you're going to die either way. And I don't know how people defeat this fear. I personally don't have it, right? But people do have the fear of, oh, I'm gonna die eventually in my life. And they stress over that and stuff, and it's like, I'm sitting there like, you can't stress your life over that, because it's something you cannot fix. Typically a fear is something you can conquer, get over, and either fix, or something like that. Death is not a thing you can kind of get over, because it's gonna happen either way in your life, whether you're young, whether you're, in the middle of your life, or whether it's like technically at the very end of your life. You can't get around it. It's always going to be there, right? So if you want to, you don't have to, all right? If you want to, post in the comments one of your fears. It doesn't have to be your biggest fears, but one of your fears in the comment section below. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, if we all did not have fears, then we could technically be able to do what we want and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.